So I'm currently on a training course for something called PSYCH-K. It's something that Rachel and I came across recently, and we've now begun our training in the process. And we've been so amazed by the effect and impact it's had both on our lives and those of our patients that we knew that during this course we had to grab UK instructor Cazzie there for an interview just to be able to tell you a bit more about it. So firstly, Cazzie, thank you ever so much for taking the time out. You're welcome. Thank you. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that actually haven't heard of PSYCH-K.
Yeah.
So firstly, to start us off, what is PSYCH-K?
Well, PSYCH-K is basically, it's a process that is used to identify the limiting beliefs we have in our subconscious mind, and then we change those limiting beliefs into beliefs that can really enhance our lives and help us achieve the outcomes that we really, really want, and to have the experiences that we really, really want to have as well.
Just sounds amazing already on point one. So how long ago did it start then?
Oh, it was over 20 years ago it started. Rob Williams is the originator, and it's well over 20 years, and it's really picking up in popularity now as well.
Yeah, I guess it's
been going quite a while.
Quite a while. Explains why it's still relatively new in the
relatively new.
Different methods and modalities.
That's it, absolutely. Yeah,
perfect. And why does it put so much emphasis on the idea of changing beliefs? Why is that such a important thing, I guess? 95%
of our life is run through our subconscious mind, and what that means is we're actually only aware of 5% of what's going on in our daily life, which is quite scary if you think about it. In our subconscious mind, where everything's really playing out, that's where we hold our beliefs. And whatever we believe, programs that we have installed from day one, from being in the womb as well, those beliefs that have been programmed into our subconscious mind are playing out every single day in our lives, creating the lives that we're experiencing.
Yeah, so it's quite a big part of...
a very big part, yeah, absolutely.
Fabulous. And maybe touching it a bit already, but why is it so much that you focus on the subconscious mind?
Yeah, basically the subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. It's where all our habits are, it's running all our bodily systems, our blinking, our breathing, our digestion, our heart rate. It's basically doing so much more than we actually realise that it is. We give so much power to our conscious mind because that's a part of us that we're aware of, but actually the subconscious is 1,000,000 times more powerful. So that's why we work at the subconscious level of the mind. When we're trying to make changes with our conscious mind, it's like willpower, effort, I can do this, I will do this. But the minute we stop, our subconscious beliefs will override. And if they're limiting, that's the experience that we'll have, the limiting experiences.
That's quite a big realisation that, you know, 1,000,000 times powerful.
Yeah,
that is
absolutely,
huge
absolutely.
Yeah. So, what's the sort of the summary difference, I guess, between our subconscious and our conscious mind?
Yeah, the conscious mind is volitional. So it's a part of our mind that we use to make choices. So whenever we make decisions in our lives, we're using our conscious mind to do that. And we judge the results of the things that we do as well. With our subconscious mind, as we said just now, it's very habitual. So it's running on autopilot. So while we're making all this effort and we're using all of our energy and our willpower to make changes in our lives or to create what it is that we want, we're using all our conscious power to do that. Not very much at all. Our subconscious mind is very happily just running on autopilot, just making us, or driving us I should say, to have the experiences that we're having as well. The conscious mind processes in the past and the future. So when we're thinking about the past and the future, we're using our conscious mind to do that. The subconscious is always in the now. So those beliefs that we created way back when, from very, very early on, whether they're enhancing us or they're limiting us in our lives, they're still playing out on autopilot as well.
So consciously we're always thinking about stuff that's happened or stuff that might happen.
Yeah,
and the subconscious is actually the only bit that's
in it. Yeah, that's it. And we're trying to make change with our conscious mind, but actually it's the subconscious that we really need to access.
So that's an interesting point then, because how, if the subconscious is happening without really knowing it, how do you develop a communication with the subconscious? How can you...
In PSYCH-K, specifically, we use muscle testing, a process called muscle testing, to communicate directly with the subconscious mind. So it's a bit like a lie detector test. For people who aren't aware of muscle testing, it's a bit like a lie detector test, but we use our body instead of a machine. By using the muscle testing, we can identify what's actually going on in our subconscious mind. Do we believe something or don't we believe it? And what's really going on in there?
Wow, so direct access.
Direct access, absolutely.
So how long does it take then to change this subconscious beliefs?
Well, you'd think it would take quite a while, but
Yeah.
actually, work with the subconscious mind. In PSYCH-K, we also, excuse me, the processes that we use allow us to activate both the left brain hemisphere and the right brain hemisphere,
Okay.
becoming what we call whole-brained. And when we're whole-brained, the subconscious mind cannot hold on to the resistance and the stress and the conflict that it has for longer than about 2 to 5 minutes. And we now have research to show that as well.
2 to 5
2
minutes.
to 5 minutes. Honestly, people don't believe it. People come to the workshops and they're like, really? Absolutely. Yeah, 2 to 5 minutes. And it's proved time and time again. Because we're whole-brained. And when we're whole-brained, we're reprogrammable, we're receptive to the change as well.
I guess that's the importance, isn't it, of Rob Williams and is the process towards it to kind of get to that.
Absolutely. So becoming whole-brained, 2 to 5 minutes to make the change.
Wow, fabulous. So people might think, okay, if their beliefs have been with me for a long time, how do we know that it's going to be safe to make those changes or even appropriate to make those changes? Not going to get any negative consequences.
Absolutely. In PSYCH-K we have a safety catch. We call it a permission protocol. So any change that we want to make, in PSYCH-K we always use the muscle testing to communicate directly with our superconscious mind or higher self, intuition, lots of different names for that aspect of ourselves. We always muscle test, communicate directly with the superconscious mind to make sure that it is safe and appropriate in this moment to change a belief and have a new experience. So safe meaning no harm will come to us, and appropriate meaning it's in our best and highest interest right now to change that belief and have the desired outcome. Because in life what we want isn't necessarily always what we need. So we have that permission protocol in place.
Just to check that
no adverse consequences will come from the change.
Fabulous.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant.
That's one of the things I really love about PSYCH-K.
It's just that safety net, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So, I know you said 2 to 5 minutes to change a belief, but what if someone's had a belief, like you say, from birth or a very, very young age?
Yeah.
Does that then take longer to
No,
work through?
because if you think 2 to 5 minutes in the subconscious mind, the subconscious is always in the present time. So even if we've programmed a belief way back when, we say, well, how is it affecting us now? Let's create a belief to counteract that experience. We can create a belief like that, and in PSYCH-K, because of the whole brain techniques that we use, we can change a belief just as quickly. And we have the muscle testing as evidence at every single step of the way. So in PSYCH-K, we never have to second guess. We never wonder, oh, has the belief changed? Have we done enough processing? We use the muscle testing at every single step to make sure that the process is really complete as well. And the belief is in the subconscious mind, the new belief.
I have to say that's what I like about it as well, and a lot of people that work with have liked that they can physically see and feel at the time about the change.
Yeah, definitely. Again, no second guessing, which I love about it as well. Definitely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, Rob Williams, the originator of PSYCH-K, he's got a book called The Missing Piece in Your Life. In that book, he was saying that you don't consciously have to be aware of the source of the problem to be able to change that. Because a lot of things say, you've got to know where things come from.
Absolutely. There's a belief that we need to go back where we need to really unravel everything to find out what is the root cause of the problem in order to change it. In PSYCH-K, how we work is we say, okay, well, how are things now? Whatever has happened in the past, it's creating, if those beliefs are still running and it's not serving us in the present time, we say, well, how are things now? What's going on for you right now that's not serving you? What experiences are you having in your life that you don't want to be having right now? We talk about that. And then we ask, well, what would you rather experience instead? And we create beliefs around that to help the person start to access the beliefs that they have that might be blocking them from having their desired experience. So we could take forever trying to work out what the root cause is. If somebody has financial problems, if somebody's having health issues or relationship problems, we could spend a long, long time trying to get back to where it all first started. But what we say is, well, how are things now? What's going on with your health? What's happening in your relationships? How would you rather it be instead? And then we create the beliefs to support the desired outcome. Test those beliefs. That's the point at which we know if the person has the beliefs they need to help them achieve their outcome. And if not, then we go through the process to change it.
And is that evident even if the source of someone's problem is a real sort of trauma or significant sort of emotional event? Because a lot of things say, go back to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. What can usually happen, what will probably happen, is that person will be experiencing some stress in their life. And it will be related to something else, but it's the stress in that moment that is the issue. And when we work with that point of stress, it will just transform previous stresses from the past as well. Because what's happened in the past is almost like a timeline. It's built, it's affecting us right now. So let's work with that stress right now, and it will almost just transform everything else that's built up to that point in time.
Where it's come from isn't the important bit.
No, we don't need to consciously know. It's what is going on for you right now. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Because it's the stuff in the past that will be creating the current experience.
So once we've worked and made those changes and put more sort of empowering beliefs into someone, how long do those changes then last?
As long as they need to, basically, until the person has achieved their goal, they've had the experiences they want to have, and then they can start to work with the next step in their life that they really, really want to work with as well. Sometimes there might be what we call some secondary gain going on, but if somebody isn't experiencing the change that they want to, and it happens for all of us, it's happened for me, and we have to be really honest with ourselves as well. It's like, no, I'm not going to look at that. But actually, it's worth asking the question, what advantage, if there was to be any advantage, what advantage do I gain from staying as I am? And we'll usually find that an answer will pop up, and it can be really, really insightful as well to help peel those layers off about what's going on at a deeper level.
It's that conflict, isn't it, between I want this, but
if
it's this, then that means I have to be like this, or I have to face this particular.
If I change, then I have to let go of that. But actually, this is my comfort zone. This is more comfortable. I know what's going on here. If I change, I don't actually know what will be happening over there. And the fear of the unknown can sometimes make us stay in the position we're in and stay where we are. Even though consciously we really want to change, subconsciously it's going, actually, I'm quite happy here. This is nice and safe. It's not serving me, but I'm quite comfortable here. It's about taking that leap.
So again, you can then use PSYCH-K to work on that element of it as well.
Yes, definitely. Just a simple question. If there was an advantage, if there's a benefit to me staying as I am, what would it be? Or what is it?
Powerful question.
I've asked myself that question many times, trying to avoid the answer, and it never works.
Let's go around this.
No, I'm all right where I am. Actually, no, I'm not.
Fabulous. And so there are a lot of modalities, different skills out there for making change. We've got things like positive thinking, affirmations people come across, things like meditation, mindfulness is very sort of the buzzword at the moment as well. How is PSYCH-K different from those?
Well, a lot of those techniques, those ways of working are using the conscious mind. So affirmations, for example, all done at the conscious level of the mind. And as we know from talking earlier, we can use all our effort, all our willpower, saying an affirmation over and over again, and we might start to feel better about ourselves because we're doing it with a conscious mind, and all our conscious attention is on that affirmation and the experience we want to have. However, the minute we stop saying those affirmations, if we have limiting beliefs around the issue, those limiting beliefs in the subconscious mind, a million times more powerful, will begin to override in our lives again. So that's what makes a difference in PSYCH-K, is that we actually go straight to the subconscious mind. So what's going on in there that's really preventing us from being the best expression of ourselves we can, from living the life that we really want to live? You know, it could be anything from confidence, self-esteem, relationships, health, prosperity, abundance, grief, loss, personal power, anything in anybody's life where they're experiencing a block. It's probably, I would say, usually a belief that's preventing them from moving forward. So we need to get into the subconscious mind because it is a million times more powerful. So doing the conscious mind work is great. The minute we stop, boom, subconscious will override. Absolutely.
Cool. So I was going to ask, what kind of things can it help with, and you've sort of highlighted a few there, but what about physical things, whether it's back pain or chronic pain or a long-term illness? People think, well, that's very physical, so where might PSYCH-K fit in there?
What PSYCH-K can do with health conditions is we never ever cure anything. We can't cure anything, okay? But what we can do in PSYCH-K is help people modify their beliefs that might be stopping them from being in the best health that they can.
Okay.
So we have a process, what we call balances. We call PSYCH-K processes a balance. There's a balance in the left and the right brain hemispheres. So we have a transformer stress balance. We have finding a message balance as well. So if there's stress around the physical condition, we can work with that stress first of all. Then we can find out maybe there's a message in this that we haven't heard. You know, sometimes the superconscious mind might go, hello, you need to stop and rest. I can't stop and rest. Hello, you need to stop and rest. What? Oh, I've got too much to do. Hello! We don't listen to it, and then we get ill. Yeah, we'll be in bed for 7 days with the flu because we haven't listened to ourselves. Yes, we can find out if there's a message in a condition.
Imagine quite a few people could relate. I know I can today.
Absolutely. I'm completely talking from experience there. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If you don't stop, I'll make you.
Exactly. It's like if you have a letter from the electricity board saying you need to pay your bill, or we're turning the electricity off, no lights, no anything really. Put it to the side. Another one, red letter warning. Don't want to read that. Put it to the side. Next thing you know, no electricity. What? How dare they? They can't do that. But actually, we weren't reading the letters. We've had the warnings. Yeah, definitely. And that can happen for us as well on the physical level. You know, stress, because we know lots of research, stress can create illness as well.
Yeah, definitely. And how about things like anxieties or phobias?
Yeah.
Those kind of ingrained repetitive.
Definitely. As I mentioned just now, we have a transforming stress balance that we use. Again, can be used for phobias, anxiety, traumas, whether past, present or future, stressful situation that might be coming up in somebody's life. We can use a particular PSYCH-K balance to help with that as well.
Wow.
And again, 2 to 5 minutes.
It's crazy to think some of the processes people have gone through with its fear of spiders or flying or whatever, and this might just...
Absolutely. It's quite hard to believe, we're talking about beliefs, quite hard to believe that it can be that quick. But there's so many stories of people who have worked particularly with phobias or traumas that they've had throughout their whole life. Do a PSYCH-K balance, 2 to 5 minutes, transform that stress, try and associate with the experience again, and there's no reaction to it at all. The stress is just gone.
So a lot of what we've talked about already is dealing with sort of individuals, whether it's a particular goal or just personal beliefs. What about in relationships or sort of groups of people? Can it work on multiple people, I guess?
Well, in PSYCH-K we always use the word with. In PSYCH-K we never say we work on somebody or we work on anyone. In PSYCH-K it's very much we're working with them, so it's a co-creative process. You know, as a PSYCH-K facilitator or PSYCH-K instructor, I don't know what's best for somebody. What I can do is facilitate them to help them access the wisdom that's already there, but we can't always get to ourselves. So relationships, we have a particular relationship balance in PSYCH-K, which is amazing. So 2 people can come together and find out literally which hot buttons are being pushed in that relationship. Get the learnings, get the gifts from each other. Might not feel like a gift, but the gifts that each person is bringing to each other to transform those blocks really in the relationship. So 2 people can be what we call whole-brained and make a decision about that relationship from a responsive state and not a reactive state, because because those buttons aren't there to be pushed anymore. Working with groups, with PSYCH-K, it's not so easy to work with groups in person, but we do have a process called surrogation, which would allow us to work with groups if we needed to.
Wow. Can't handle
it. Do you know what it really is? It's with PSYCH-K, there are no limits at all for the changes that we can make and the work that we can do.
I should say, but experiencing personally some of those balances that Cazzie's been talking about, and it's incredible the changes and the speed of some of the changes you start to see.
That's it, definitely. It's great to see the workshops as well. As I'm teaching the workshops, watching people, you can just see them transform. They look different and they behave differently as well. It's an absolute honour to be part of that.
So if someone's thinking of coming to have a PSYCH-K session, what would they expect when they went to see a facilitator?
Sure. Well, generally we would do a bit of a coaching aspect first, find out about why they'd come to have a session, have a little chat to them. What's going on for you right now? Have a talk about that. What are the problems specifically? Where are the blocks? Where's the stress? Where's the conflict in their life? Then we would look at what they wanted instead. Instead of having all of those experiences, what would they rather experience instead? And those are their goals. You get to that point, well, I want this and this and this. Instead of that, I want this and this and this. Those are their goals. We then help the person to turn those goals into a first person present tense belief statement. I want to be happy. Instead of being stressed and sad, I want to be happy and calm. Okay, so belief statement could be, I am happy and calm. Then we would go into the PSYCH-K process using the muscle testing to test that belief. So the person would say the belief out loud, we would muscle test it to see if they believe it or not in their subconscious mind. And if they don't, we would then continue with whichever PSYCH-K balance the subconscious mind chooses to do to help that person achieve their outcome. Then we do an action plan at the end. What steps do they need to take to really manifest the outcome of that new belief that they have, the seed that's been planted in their subconscious mind? What do we need to do now to really bring this into reality?
That's a nice part, it just brings it full circle. So where are you now? And then you leave with something to really get you bringing that to life.
Yeah, absolutely. Get your homework to do.
Yeah, yeah. You might not be at school, but you still get
Exactly.
occasionally.
Absolutely.
And it might be that someone's watching this and just thinking this really hits home for them. They'd love to maybe it's learn this for themselves or for friends and family. But they might be thinking maybe I already need to have some kind of qualifications to study this.
Yeah.
Can anyone study to learn to use PSYCH-K?
Anybody can come to a PSYCH-K basic workshop. You don't have to have any background, any experience in the self-development field. I have a lot of people contact me to say they've not experienced this before, not really done much in the self-development field. They want to come along for themselves, to help themselves. That's absolutely fine because we teach the theory on the first morning, but it's from scratch. So you could be in the self-development field for 30 years, not have been doing it at all, but you've just come across PSYCH-K and you think, wow, this could really help me in my life. Come along to the workshop. You don't have to have any background because everybody starts from the same place as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Open door.
Open tour, absolutely.
And if someone was wanting to, hopefully found this interesting, but perhaps wants to delve a little deeper, just read a bit more up about it.
Sure.
Where can they go to find out more about PSYCH-K?
There's the PSYCH-K official website, the www.psych-k.com website. It has all the information on there. Has a list of all the instructors which are running workshops all over the world. Also has a list of what we call preferred affiliates as well. So they're the PSYCH-K facilitators. So they're listed on the PSYCH-K website as well. Or whichever country a person is in, they can just Google PSYCH-K and find people's websites that way as well. But you can get all the information from the PSYCH-K website. Lots of facilitators like myself, we have our own websites with information on as well. You can go to YouTube, just type PSYCH-K and all of Rob Williams' videos will come up telling you all about PSYCH-K, what it is, the workshops, everything you need to know.
Yeah. We'll put those links, they'll be somewhere around this,
Fantastic.
this screen, so give you a direct link. And the other thing is obviously Rob's book as well.
Yes, Rob's book.
Subtly put in the background.
One you prepared earlier.
So like you explained, it's a basic kind of intro of what PSYCH-K is.
Yes, it doesn't show you how to do PSYCH-K. You do need to come to a workshop because of what's involved in actually learning PSYCH-K. It's like you could have somebody tell you how to swim, you could read a book about how to swim, but when you get in the water, really you need somebody there to actually guide you, help you. It's very much like that with PSYCH-K because of what's involved in the process and the background of it as well. People really need to come to the workshop to learn it. So the process itself, how to do it, isn't in the book, but all of the theory and all of the information about what PSYCH-K is in the book.
Brilliant. And again, we'll put a link to this below the page as well if you prefer book to internet browsing. So that's
it's
fantastic.
An easy read as well.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a nice, easy follow through, isn't it? And I assume, like you say, if someone was wanting to find somebody they don't want to necessarily learn it themselves, but they want to have a session, the PSYCH-K.com website is the best.
Absolutely. Yeah, they have a list of facilitators on that website, or you can just Google PSYCH-K and the town that you live in and see what comes up from it as well. Or contact me and I might know a facilitator in the area as well. Yeah.
And is it, because it's say it's still growing and expanding. So
yeah, very much so.
I'm kind of thinking in some countries it might be a few hours drive to get to somebody's office to see them. Is there another way around that?
Absolutely, we can work by telephone and we can also work by Skype. If you find an facilitator who has taken the advanced workshop, they can work with you over Skype and by phone, or do a distance session where you don't actually have to be there at all.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
So
all options is always an answer. Always an answer in PSYCH-K. Got a question, we'll have the answer.
We'll have the answer. That's fantastic. Well, thank you ever so much again, Cazzie, for taking the time.
It's been great.
I'm sure it's been very useful. I hope it's been a very useful interview for you. Just give it a bit of an insight into different ways we can work with ourselves and our challenges.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.